Guy works for an art gallery with an annual income of $44,000. His net monthly pay is $2,669.33. His basic expenses consist of these items, and so we have a list of items that he spends his money on regularly. In addition, so here's some additional income. He gets about $30 a week from a side consulting job, and he gives about $45 a month to local charities. Use a spreadsheet to create a budget for Guy. How much money does he have left over each month? And I'm going to show you using Google Sheets. And what I will do is just type in the titles for the categories of what he's spending his money on, and then use Google to do the calculations for me. So I won't even need my calculator. So category and amount. These are just titles. I'm just typing whatever I want to at the moment. Try to make this a little bigger for you. All right, so the first category, rent, I'm just typing it in. I'm just typing in the number with the $sign even, because Sheets and Excel, they work very similarly for this. They will take it with the $sign and know that it's money, and they'll format it that way. So that's kind of nice. Then cell phone, $60, utilities. And I'm not going to write out what his utilities are. We'll just know that utilities means all of those. His insurance is $40. His transportation is $65. Food, $300. And loan repayment, $290. Now we had some other information, and we might want to put it in at the top because it's the income. So I'm going to select the line by clicking on the number, and then I'll right click there and say insert one above, and it'll insert a blank line for me. I think I want to do 2, maybe even 3, so I'll do it a couple of times. And what I want to do here is put his income. He gets, double check, $26.69.33. And you can see it lost our pennies. I want to show you how to fix that. If you click on that column, and then up here it says decrease decimal places, and right next to it increase decimal places. If I click on that, it'll show me one more decimal place. And since this is money, I'm going to go ahead and give it 2. Or I can just come over here and say format as currency, and that'll do the same thing for me right away. So there's his income to the nearest penny. And then he had other income. That was side job consulting, and that was $30 a week. And so $30 a week, I have everything else in terms of a month. So I'm going to assume that there are 4 weeks in a month, and instead of typing in that 30, I'm going to put an equal sign and let Google calculate it for me and say equals 30 times 4. And it should give me, it shows right there, right above, that it's going to give me $120. You can see it right there. That's cool because I know 4 times 3 is 12, and if it's 40 times or 30 times 4, then it should be 120. So I push enter, and there's the 120. So I can also do something cool, which is total income, and I can add those two together. And to do that, I would say equals sum, and then left parenthesis, and then I select by clicking in the middle of the cell and pushing and holding down my mouse button and drag down for those 2 income amounts. It's giving me a range of numbers there, B2 colon B3, so it means B2 all the way to B3. And then I just put a right parenthesis and enter, and it gives me the total for that. Now I want that to stand out a little bit, so I'm going to click on the 4, and then I'm going to click on the bold here. So the B for bold, and that'll make that line bold. And then that's all the income. Now we typed in all of the expenses, but then we had $45 a month that he gives to local charities, and that's per month. So then we'll put charities and put $45 there. And then now we want the total expenses. So total expenses. Remember, on the left column, I'm just typing things in. There's no calculations and no numbers. You can type whatever you want there. But I want to do a total here. So now I want to do equals sum. Sum means add them all up. And then I click and hold on the rent on the middle of the cell. Click and hold, drag down to the bottom, and it should highlight it like that. And then do a right parenthesis and enter. And there it gives me the total of all of those expense items. Now, the next thing is I need to make a budget. So I want to have, oh, first let's bold that row. So I'm going to click on the 13 to select the row and then click on the B for bold, come back down. And now I want to see, does he have any money left over? And it looks like he has about $1,000 left over. So we have, guy has some leftover money. So we'll just put leftover. And to find the leftovers, again, we can let Google do the calculating for us, but we have to put in equals first so that Google knows that we're not just typing in a number, but we actually want to do a calculation. So equals, and then remember we have to do income, so I'll just click on the value for the income and see how it lit it up, and then it shows B4 down there. That's B4. See how it references there? So that's what it's telling you, B4, and then minus. And then I want to do this one, which is B13. So I can either click on it like that, or I can just type it, B13, if I remember what that reference is. And you don't have to capitalize or anything, but then push enter. And there it gives me the $1,000 that I was saying he's going to have left over. Okay, so the question was, in addition, Guy receives $30 a week, gives $45, uses a spreadsheet to create a budget for Guy. How much money does he have left over each month? And so we know the answer to that. So Guy has $1,079.33 left over each month. And then this is the beauty of using Google or Excel. Change Guy's utilities to be 50 more per month. How does that change the amount Guy has left each month after expenses? And so if we come in here and change his utilities, we can just say, we can change it to equals 310, and then I can say plus 50. Google will even add that up for me. I know it's 360, but we'll push enter, and there it is. Here's what's cool. If you change one of the values in a calculation, it changes the result for you, so you don't have to go back through and add everything up again. So it's very nice to do a budget in Excel or Google Sheets, because when you adjust something, everything adjusts. And it's really helpful to find out, oh, now my new total is $1,029.33. So how does that change the amount Guy has left each month after expenses? And then we can say, and now Guy has $1,029.33 left each month. I want to show you something that you can do with Google Sheets and with Excel when you get ready to make a report for me. You don't have to yet, but I want you to see it. So what I like to use is snipping tool. And it looks like this. If you just go to your big ball, if you have an older version of Microsoft Office or Microsoft, then you can look for snipping. Just start typing it, snipping. It should come up on any PC. If you have a Mac, you can use the Control-Shift-4, and I think that does a screenshot for you, and then you can trim it a little. So this one, snipping tool, makes everything pale, and then you can just select the area that you want to use for your report, and it will give it to you just exactly as you saw it on the screen. And then come into your document, and I'm in OneNote, but you could be in Google Docs, or you could be in Microsoft Word or Notepad, whatever you want to use. And then you can just do a Control V, and it pastes it into your document for you. And now I have something I could put into a report that looks pretty professional. It came from my spreadsheet. So there are other ways to do this as well. I can select those columns and do a copy, and then come over here and go to Docs, get a blank document, and right click, paste, and there's my Google Sheet in my document. And that's a little cleaner even, and usually the resolution is better. But if you can't get it to work, definitely use Snipping Tool or use that Control-Shift-4 on the Mac.